Do you ever feel like your mind just won't stop? That the thoughts keep coming no matter how much you try to quiet them? That you're bracing for something bad to happen, even if things are relatively okay at the moment? You can try to think your way out of it. You might be trying for a while because that often doesn't work. And you're left with that muscle tension, restless, uneasy energy, maybe that more shallow breathing and heart racing feeling. These are some of the ways that anxiety can show up in your life, and it's not all in your head. I'd like to speak to you a little bit today about anxiety from an internal family systems perspective, a little bit about the brain-body connection and the anxiety cycle, and what you can do as some rescue tools in the moment when you first notice anxiety emerging. I'm Justel Andrews, and I work at Eckert Center. We serve clients in Calgary as well as Airdrie, Okotoks, and Cochrane, or online sessions across Alberta. So anxiety is often seen as an enemy, something to resist, to push away, to overcome. But what if anxiety is actually just trying to protect you? In internal family systems theory, anxiety is seen as a protector part. Some of the ways it might show up is as a worrier part that is going to overplan in order to prevent anything bad from happening, as a perfectionist part who is overfunctioning, overworking to avoid any rejection or criticism, or maybe as a numbing part that is tapping out and scrolling and distracting when things get too overwhelmed. These parts are there to help us, to protect us from feeling pain, from relational disconnection, from danger, perceived or real in our lives. But sometimes they get into the front seat of the car, they take over the steering wheel, and they start driving the car. And what we want to do is we want to listen and learn and turn toward our anxiety, to befriend it, to understand why it's there and what it's protecting. And then this way, that's how our core self can get back in the driver's seat and take the lead, with anxiety being just one of the passengers in the car, informing us on our journey forward. So the brain-body connection in anxiety is really important to understand, because a lot of our anxiety type responses are coming into our system without our conscious choice for them to happen. So your amygdala is the fire alarm center in your brain, and it will alarm for things that are seen as potential danger or safety concerns, but these could even be things like emotional conflicts, or perceived risks of disconnection from someone important to you or someone in authority. And so your fire alarm can go off for real danger, but it can also go off for burnt toast. So it's not that you're weak, it's that sometimes your biology is doing its job a little too well, and you might need to do a little bit of retraining with your brain and nervous system and its responses. Thirdly, what is the anxiety cycle or the anxiety spiral? In the anxiety cycle or spiral, we learn that it's avoidance that fuels more anxiety. So when there's a fear stimulus, there's an anxious response, there might be a tendency to want to avoid, to cancel plans, to get sucked into some scrolling on your phone, and to just avoid whatever the stimulus is that's causing the anxious response. But what happens is when we avoid it, we do get a temporary reprieve from anxiety. But how the brain reads that is, oh, this worked, I better do that again. And so the more that you avoid, the louder your anxiety will get in the long term. It's kind of like that your actions are telling your nervous system, the information that your actions are giving your nervous system, say to it, hey, that really was dangerous, so we'd better stay on high alert. What can actually help as a rescue tool in the moment? The first thing you want to do is just notice and recognize without judgment, hey, there's some anxiety here. try to bring some curiosity into why that anxiety might be there, what it's trying to do to help you. As you ask that protector part, how is it that you're trying to help me? It helps you to turn towards your protector part with compassion, empathy, curiosity, rather than resisting it or turning to avoiding behaviors which are then going to, in the long term, ramp anxiety up. So we want to turn towards, we want to befriend, we want to understand the body's wisdom in why is that anxiety there in the first place, so that we can address that backstory. And maybe it needs to be reframed. Maybe there's some options that need to be explored. So over time, we can meet our body with soothing coping strategies in the moment, grounding behaviors rather than avoidance behaviors that slowly over time rewire your nervous system to respond in less anxious ways. So next time anxiety hits, stop, notice, say to yourself, hey, what might this anxiety part be trying to protect me from? Can I turn towards it in a way that befriends it, listens to it? Can I turn towards my own body needs in a way that soothes and grounds in the moment, but doesn't fuel the avoidance and the anxiety cycle? So if you are in Calgary, Airdrie, Cochrane, or Okotoks, and you're looking for support for anxiety counseling, I just invite you to connect with us at Eckert Center. You can start with booking a free 15-minute consultation if you'd like. And we just love to talk with you and see if there are ways we can help you feel more supported in your journey with anxiety. Check out the link below.